Hey everyone, welcome to my channel, Books, Scars, and Purrs. Hopefully you can hear me okay. And just to check, because I had issues with sound the other day, I'm going to go ahead and annoyingly listen to myself on my stream for a second. Just to check. Yep, it's working. All right. There has been so much coming out about Interview the Vampire since my last live stream segment about it. And so everything was just like pumping out and I couldn't stay on top of it. So I thought I have the time right now. Another reason why I do these like live chats is just because I don't really have the energy to edit right now. Like I do for some of my other book reviews and such. So I thought I just fangirl out on this with you, whether you're watching live or on a replay. Here's my chance to kind of like just catch up. I also took some notes because I rewatched. Maybe it's the fourth time I've seen the season one. But before I proceed, I have it on the photo I put up for this segment. This will always be a spoiler discussion. So if you haven't read the books and you don't want to be spoiled about like theories and such based on the books applied to the show, please don't watch this. I don't want to ruin your experience for this. So I just want to put that out there. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. I've kind of created this space because there's so many people that are new to the show that have not read the books. And so they've carved out spaces for themselves. And I think that's great. I'm seeing more and more people recently pop up in my algorithm because they're watching the first season for the first time. And I love that. I'm so excited. Just for more people to be watching. I'm assuming it's, there's a contributing factor that's probably like, maybe because I know the first season was showing on HBO for a little while. I don't know if it still is, but that's definitely a way to get like more eyes on the show. I've been watching it on AMC Plus, and I have a subscription, and I'm just gonna keep watching and keep that subscription. Like they're just taking my money because that's all I'm watching is this show, and I keep letting the subscription go. So, all right. So, how do we start this? I'm gonna start this by going ahead and watching some trailers that came out that I I just want to like watch it with you and discuss my thoughts. Yeah, so we'll do that. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. I have quite a few tabs up, so we'll see how this goes. All right, okay, so this one is called Exclusive Special Preview of Season 2, Interview the Vampire. And when did this come out? 4 days ago, and I don't think that I reviewed it. So let's do this. I hope the lighting's okay. I have like a little blue light. I should change it to purple. Whatever, just to make sure my lighting is working. All right, let's do this. Oh, how are we gonna do this to make this? Does that work? I think that works. If I could only make it bigger, that'd be nice.
Anyone want to start?
Back down with you!
Anyone want to start?
Back down with you!
How long are we going to play games, Louis?
Season 2 has like a very different dynamic.
Louis trying to earn back Claudia's trust in him, but Claudia's very reluctant to hear it.
I've known exactly 4 vampires in my life, and you've all been the worst.
Louis and Claudia, obviously they've experienced horror, and there's a real trauma in what they did to Lestat.
It was really messed up.
For this season, lurking in the background always is Lestat and what they have done to him.
If you've killed somebody you love more than anyone else, it's going to haunt you in every possible way.
Bonjour, mon amour.
He's been seeing him almost constantly since he died. He's been there in his conscience.
He's a vision that only Louis sees. He can't get him out of his head.
Say it like you believe it.
I do. I do. I do. I do. I do.
The arrival in Paris is huge.
This season, it's all about the Théâtre de Vampire.
Welcome! What you're about to see is real.
And then they get to meet these vampires.
Louis and Claudia, Théâtre des Vampires.
It's everything that Claudia's been waiting for.
You were amazing.
She feels like this can become her new home.
She's ecstatic. We've never seen her happier, and we've never seen Louis more uncertain.
Who's that handsome man on the wall up there?
Our co-founder, Lestat de Lyon-Corps.
Lestat is so present in their relationship that Armand cannot help but feel Lestat's presence.
Lestat is there to pass judgment on decisions that Louis is making, and one of them is his falling in love with Armand.
I love you.
Oh, God, how did he manage it?
In Armand, he finds someone, not any of the things that Lestat was.
I think Louis needs friction in his relationships. Louis' relationship with Armand is a response to his relationship with Lestat.
So, what were the first words of the ancient vampire to the future love of his life?
The interview with the vampire becomes more important in season 2.
We should get every detail right. The interview goes from playing chess against one person to playing 3D chess against 2 people.
It's a complicated bunch of relationships that they're all stacked on top of each other.
He wants you in pieces for the privilege of putting them back together as he sees fit.
It's his job.
You should end it.
What Malloy is seeing on the couch in front of him is maybe not all that needs to see.
Can I see the pages we removed? Claudia's diaries.
We made an agreement.
Are they lying to me? Is this a true story? How much of this is real? How much is this made up?
Who tells the story is often more important than how the story's being told.
That's it? You're just going to end it there?
There's a lot of surprise in this season.
It is incredibly terrifying.
It's pure chaos.
There's a lot of danger involved.
And it's brutal and beautiful and so theatrical.
Dare I say, it's a much gorier season.
Everyone's in for real trouble.
Wow, this is intense.
Sorry, you can still see me, which is great. I'm gonna watch this again like I usually do, and I'll turn the sound off. So I'll just kind of comment from there. Oh, they have Cece. That's cool. Okay. All right. So we see that this is Armand in the foreground. And this is a scene where Lestat has his hair pulled back. I just wonder what's going on here. Oh, you know what? Okay, so this took me by surprise when Armand says this, because I feel like we're seeing in front of Daniel like a crack potentially in the relationship, not just playing games in terms of the story that Louis is telling. This actress, she's going to be so much fun to watch this season. And I love how the actor Sam champions for his character. All right, so we're gonna go back to this because I've mentioned it before. I love that Armand is watching from above. It's also definitely feels like a power move, and it just shows how control of the narrative he is in terms of present day Dubai and also in the theater. All right. You know what I'm wondering? Here's my question. Because we know that what Louis and Claudia did to Lestat is really like haunting Louis, but the actor is saying that he uh, the actor Assad is also saying that his character Armand feels a presence of Lestat in a way. Do you think it's just how uh, Lestat marked the life of Louis and everything they went through, or is it also because we've seen in the scenes and the flashbacks and other trailers how Lestat drank from Armand? Do you think that there's also like that blood connection, the vampire blood connection, is what I'm thinking of. All right, I want to talk about their bedroom. In other trailers, and actually after this, a couple of scenes later, we get that scene where it's like Lestat's silhouette and he's walking across the stage, but it's a silhouette of him. We've got that like backwards, forwards kind of thing, where he's like taking off his coat as he's walking. And I see the back of their bedroom, and I don't know what this is. I don't know if this is like a partition, but it kind of reminds me of that other scene as well. And I'm wondering if the framing of this is supposed to be reminiscent of that and how parts of their relationship right now are being staged, which is, um, and the fact that they don't have a perfect relationship and how they present their relationship to Daniel right now. That's what I'm thinking about in terms of like the partition and this. This is what it kind of reminds me of. But let me know what you think. And I also wonder about the agreement. I think that we're gonna have like a lot of mixed feelings about Armand. And maybe us as maybe just in terms of like looking at the show and not necessarily the books. And for people that haven't read the books, they're gonna assume that this is like more of like a controlling thing, but clearly this is something that they agreed upon. And I wonder if it's because ultimately Louis' mental state was just so fragile with what happened to Claudia. And so, yeah, I definitely think, I mean, we've already seen it in like towards the end of the season that, yeah, we know that these pages are cut out, but clearly digging into this is something that is showing how fragile Louis is and how devastating the past is. And he still is having a difficult time coping and facing it all. Hold on, let me go back. Here we go. Hold on. Ah, it goes too fast. Oh, I wish I could do a side by side. But clearly this is a stage, but it really does kind of remind me of the bedroom of Armand and Louis. Oh, I just want to go to that one part. Here we are. I'm gonna go ahead and assume this is like the interior of the big giant house that we were looking at um, through all these different promotions, I think. But there's also a Kern, so I'm probably wrong too. I mean, I've been guessing this whole time, but at this point, I think this is Daniel Malloy. All right, so I think I've been wondering about who this is this whole time. And I know that Louis is also hallucinating Lestat, but I was thinking maybe this could be Armand because we know in present day Dubai that Louis now has this gift, right? And we don't see him having that in the past for the first season. So I wonder if because he's always like drinking from Armand, that he's like inherited that power. I was just another hypothesis I'm probably wrong about, but right? And here's a different one. So that was the exclusive special preview. Oh, and also I found out that I think it came up on my feed on Instagram that on the 10th there's going to be a release of the finale of last season, but I think it's going to have like bonus material of some sort, something like that. And so that's going to be on the 10th, and the premiere is on the 12th. So I'll be watching that. Let's wait for the commercial to be over. All right, so this is the laws of being a vampire, which this trailer had me so excited. Why is this acting weird? Let's do this again. You know what? It's not letting me, give me 1 second. Okay, it's called The Law of Being a Vampire. All right, we're gonna do the usual where I watch it once and then I'll mute it after.
The laws of the vampire. Each coven must have its leader. Each coven must have its leader. The dark gifts must never be given to children.
And in direct violation of the great law,
no vampire may ever destroy another vampire. Guilty or not guilty.
I mean, I love this trailer so much. So this is, I mean, I've talked about this before, but I'm sure this is just Armand meeting Lestat in the past. And we also see that there's a fire behind them, so I mean that's prevalent in the show. So I'm sure they just burned up the home. I wonder, I know I've talked about the paintings in the background before, but I wonder if this is also what is it, Francis something or other? I have to hunt down these other paintings now. I mean, for a moment they look happy, right? I mean, they did an incredible job. Oh, Claudia. So that was them forcing her down. You know what? Now that I'm thinking about this moment, I wonder if this is, I keep going back and forth. I wonder if this is Louis bringing this down because maybe he's just upset about the inaccessibility of what's in those books. Since Armand's the one that's going up there and getting them, right? I don't know. All right, so the next one, the next one, we're gonna move on away from trailers, and we're gonna watch an interview. Let's see if this works. Oh, it does this time. I can't find where this is a. Oh yeah, this is okay. Never mind. This is the one with TV Insider.
Who's that handsome man on the wall?
Our co-founder, Lestat de Lioncourt.
We had been so successful in season 1, telling us who these characters were and where we left them, which seemed sort of terminal, and then building from there. And this season is so much more complex. And if season 1 was really about, in many ways, a love story, there's a love story and then there's another love. This is so much more expansive. So I don't know that I even knew how much we were going to try to achieve. And we just saw, some of us just saw the last episode, the final cut of the last episode the other day for the cutting room. And it is an extraordinary season of television. I don't just say that as a producer flaunting is stuff. It just, what it accomplishes, how much there is impacted in that, and the relationships and the discoveries. I didn't think you could do all of that in a season of television.
Claudia gets older this season. She's a bit more mature, and I think their relationship is one to look out for because they're kind of at odds with each other when we start off.
Yeah, I think like maybe Louis doesn't grow up that much. I think in some ways he like devolves, but like he also like he grows in quite an alarming way. I can't really say in what ways, but like in ways that when I first read one of the episodes, I was like, hang on, no, wait, what? No. Like I was almost shocked. Like I didn't want to do that to him. But is actually like Louis has a very heartbreaking arc with Claudia this year. The two of them are very like, they're kind of ships in the night, but they're also like echoing each other, and yeah.
It was fun fucking shit up, basically, and not just the romance here. I think with just thinking about Claudia and Louis, I think Armand gets in the way in this as well, and that impacts their growing a lot. So, and then in Dubai as well, I think Armand's just here to just throw shit around and.
Yeah, because he totally takes off Malloy.
Yeah.
And why? Why is Daniel like bugged by this guy?
Well, it all starts with him pretending to be somebody he's not in the first season. So I don't trust him from the get. But this is going to be a season of discovery. And as I do my job as an investigative journalist, I find more and more hints that things are not kosher with this guy. And maybe with it, I mean, there's layers and layers of story that I'm starting to drill down into, and that are very interesting, and also just keep pushing me toward not trusting him at all. I mean, one of the things about my characters, I can vibe stuff, and I'm vibing off of this guy. I don't care what he says. I'm vibing. And he's so different than what he is. Look at him. He's just
he's vibing in a way that he doesn't understand.
Everyone's just vibing.
There's not a vibe. But
Yeah, he tries not to think about it too much, so you know, be overwhelmed by himself, I suppose. But yeah, I think like this season, Lestat's he's kind of Louis' monolith. You know, he's Louis' version of Lestat to a degree because yes, he's a haunting, but even though Anne Rice was a strong believer in ghosts, we're not really saying that ghosts are real. We're saying figments of the imagination are real. I don't know. You know, I'm under strict rules. I can't say anything, and I'm really bad at giving away things. But I would say, watch out.
I'll tell you something that has not been talked about at all. And if you've read the Anne Rice,
All right, I'm gonna stop right there for a second because this is so funny. All right, last season during promotions, Eric Bogosian said in an interview before the show came out. It was him, Sam, and Jacob, and he said something like, "Oh yeah," and then we do see like young Daniel Malloy, and then Jacob said, "I don't think you're supposed to say that," and it's so funny that that happened because he didn't say really any more than that. But after watching that first season, I could clearly see that like the arc of the show wanted that to be more of like a reveal, and he spilled the beans. So now in this interview, um, Sam Reed says like, "Oh, I'm under strict NDA type of thing." And then what does he say? He goes, "I'll tell you something." And that cracked me up because I knew at that moment I knew he was going to spill the beans on something he wasn't going to be able, he shouldn't have said, which cracked me up entirely.
books, you know, but there are two ancient institutions that are going to come into play in our plotting this year. And you have to go read the Anne Rice to find out what two ancient institutions I'm talking about. But they're a lot of fun, and they have characters in them that are fascinating and
I love because then you see Assad look over. I think he's like,
wonderful characters. We haven't even
he goes, "No." I think he's asking, like, should he be saying this?
mentioned.
Okay.
And that's when he stops them. It's so funny.
Don't kill us. And then I will
That's actually quite a big spoiler, but yeah.
Thank you guys so much. I'm gonna let you go. I gotta wrap you now. You're also hoping you don't have to worry about spoilers.
And then like Assad like kind of squeezes his shoulders.
Thank you.
I thought that was so funny. I love that so much. All right, the next one is going to be, oh, should I talk about this more? Let me think. I do like how Eric Bogosian was talking about how he's vibing. I like that because I feel like what he's really getting at is that like his or how do I say that? I guess it's actually unconscious self knows more than his like conscious self knows at the moment when it comes to Armand. And so the producer was saying how there's like the layers of this love story. So it's so what I know that we're looking at like Armand and Louis' love story, but then I figured I'm assuming that Claudia and the Madeline character, there's a bit of a love story there maybe, and I'm assuming that we're also going to see the love story of Armand and also Daniel Malloy. But what I'm wondering is, are we just going to get that like a truth bomb of the past, or are we also going to see that trickle into the present? That's what I'm wondering, because I keep hearing how much more of Dubai is a storyline than the actors anticipated. All right, now we're going to switch to like a little interview I saw.
Hello, Hello, Sam. You look amazing today, and thank you so much.
Love that. Wow.
Thank you so
It's like a sea
much.
creature. It's beautiful.
We first met you at the AMC Network Summit in 2022. We're saying just you're a powerful character, and you and Jacob are just the best thing since Rich and Sean as a
Right,
power
that-
couple. We just are huge fans, and you're trending on Twitter. All of you, the entire universe is trending. What would you
Alright.
like to say to the fans as they're eagerly awaiting season 2?
Yeah, guys, we cannot wait for you to watch it and prepare to scream at your television in frustration and joy and pain and agony. But you know what? Like, just stick with us. Stick with us. Stick with us until the end. But it's a ride. Yeah. And thank you. Thank you so much for watching it. Hello.
Hi, Sam. It's
Wow,
so
you have
great to
amazing
meet
jewelry
you.
as well. It's extraordinary, yeah.
Thank you so much. So my question for you is, with your demeanor so calm and humble, how do you tap into that vampire character? And also, what's different between your dynamic with Louis and Armand, like your relationship dynamic?
So in answer to your first question, it's really in the script and in the books. The characters are there, beautifully written, and it's just, I just get to like put on the suit. It's kind of it's just a gift, really. Yeah. I love doing it. It's a joy. And then in relationship to Armand and Louis, yeah, they're very different. Armand and Lestat have a very long, complicated history, and there's a lot of bad blood there. But it's complicated, It's complicated. And Louis, that's your soulmate, really. As much as they probably shouldn't be together, they are bound to be together forever, and they, will be.
Thank you so much. You do such a fabulous job on the show. Thank you. Can't wait to see the season. Yes, same.
Love the actor. He's so like great to watch. I just love what a giggle he gets out of being like in agony. Oh my gosh. Oh, and lastly, I'm like so excited about how many people are into this show now. And really ever since I watched it, like I've been excited from the beginning. I've been like so hyped for the show. I'm loving it. And I feel like what the show does well is like capture the emotional current of the characters. And that's what's so present in Anne Rice's work, is that you just feel so like engulfed in the emotion and the gothic nature of it all. And I think the show just captures that really well. So I just feel like the show has served the fans well, sorry. So there's someone with a YouTube channel, and they have also a TikTok, but I'm not on TikTok. So I wish they had popped up in my algorithm before, but they didn't until this year. And they have like a huge channel, and it's weird how the whole algorithm works. But her channel's Gore, and I'm gonna show you her Instagram because I thought there was like someone recorded her at the premiere of like the first episode, and she got a special shout out, and her getting that shout out made me so emotional. So I just wanted to share it here because it felt like yeah, the creator is talking to her, but I feel like it's just for the fans, it just felt like really beautiful.
Times when you just don't, you forget why you're doing it in the midst of all of that. Where's Ray? Stand up, Ray. Dan McDermott, I don't know if you remember this. Ray had this little TikTok thing or whatever. There's the first commercial that your marketing department did, it was like Mozart's Requiem and 2 things like this. And then you went up and you were like, 15 fucking years or something like this. And I gotta tell you, like, when we were lost sometimes in the writer's room, we would play that. Over and over again. And so for you, you are the face of these people who really, really love this. For you and everybody that loves these books the way you have loved them, we made it for you. And there you go. Woo! Let's see it. Woo! very honorable for Anne. But like, there's always
Yeah, I just thought that was just so beautiful. Oh my goodness, how do I fix this? Here we go. All right, we're coming to a close. I did just want to say a couple of more things, and because I watched the first season for the fourth or fifth time, there's something that I noticed in like some of the not even the trailers, the teasers that they had. There is a scene, and it's like a quick glimpse, and it's in one of those moments where Louis uh, sees Lestat, and he's like bloody, and you see like a bird coming out of his throat, and that really made me reflect on how the books and the show very much like include how should I say this? I guess you could say nature. Like New Orleans is a character in itself, right? A very strong character in the books, but you could say nature is as well, right? Because Anne Rice wrote these characters, and I mean, the different characters say it at some point, but they are talking about how um, these vampires are a part of nature, and nature is vicious in a way, and monstrous. And so, yeah, I was reflecting on how Louis's brother in the first season, um, we we think that he is schizophrenic, right? And that when the brother talks to Lestat at the dinner table, and that was like in the first episode, um, he he just didn't he says like, "Oh, I'm not trying to be rude. The birds told me to ask you." And I haven't read the Mayfair Witches the books. And I did watch a show. I really didn't like that first season, but I watched it because I thought I would like it. Anyways, birds are also prevalent in that show. So it's kind of like meditating on that connection because birds come up quite a bit. Like I'm trying to like skip over some of my notes. Oh, like for instance, Lestat says this line, and it's from the book, and he says, "Drink up, my good man. The earth is a savage garden." And Louis says, "I was a baby bird in Lestat's nest." And even when Claudia gets her first gets her coffin, the coffin even says something like about it being a nest, that kind of like that plush pink one. Um, oh, I wrote down a note and I can't read what I'm saying. Oh, one of Claudia's journals in present day Dubai has like a bird pattern on it. Oh yeah, and then at the funeral home, the name is the feathered nest. And when she has that big blowout argument with when Claudia has that argument with Lestat and Louis in season one, and they found out about like all the bodies and everything, Lestat uh gets mad at her and says that she's built like a bird. So bird just keeps coming up, and that's clearly something that's threaded to the second season. And I wonder, here's another thing. Maybe I don't know if they're interpreting this on the show or not, but the Mayfair witches do come up, right, in the first episode, where Louis' brother teases their sister about being a witch. But I wonder if maybe he wasn't necessarily mentally ill, but he just had gifts in his human state, and they were trying to tip him off about Louis, for instance. Um, yeah, and maybe that's what led to his demise, right? So that's definitely something to think about moving forward into this new season that I look forward to. And if you notice anything else that's to the birds that I missed, go ahead and tell me. I just wanted to jump on and have this chat before the premiere. The show's going to be on like at 6 p.m. Pacific time, so I'm going live at 5:30. I'm pretty sure, just to chat and talk about what we think is going to happen in the first episode and for the overall season. And then I'm going to go ahead and just watch the the episode with you. I'll mute myself and I'll watch it off screen, and then we'll have an after show chat. So as we get closer, I'll change my photo. I know it's like not the best. It's just what we have because we don't really have access to the second season yet. Also, something else I wanted to talk about is the titles that were released, but I'll do that probably that day. Oh, and then one more thing before I forget is that I think Lestat mentioned something like about Louis flying too close to the sun, which is a reference to Icarus, right? But that's also about like taking flight. So I just quick Google. It says the saying "Don't fly too close to the sun" is a reference to Icarus's reckless and defiance of limitations. In organizations, the Icarus syndrome characterizes leaders who initiate overly ambitious projects that come to naught, causing harm to themselves and others in the process. So I definitely feel like that's Louis in two ways that I can think of. Oh, actually, a couple. One in his venture into a business, and how that turned out. It could be his venture without Lestat, and going to Paris and how that turns out. And it could also symbolize like present day Dubai, trying to have this interview once again, and it's not going how he wanted. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. I'm always interested to just like fangirl out with everyone. If you want to support the channel, please like, subscribe, and yeah, let me know your thoughts below. That's it for this stream, and I'll talk to everyone later. Bye.